Hey guys, Paleo Greenbird here. I hope everybody is safe and happy and doing the best they can during these uncertain times. I want to make a video today because I think one of the greatest things that can help us during this time that we're all forced pretty much to stay home is distractions. And it's really easy. You know, if we can't work, we can't go out, we can't occupy our minds, it's easy to fall into sort of a dark place where all you're thinking about is, you know, the anxiety and what's going to happen and, you know, focusing on the news, which, by the way, I would suggest don't watch more than 30 minutes of news a day. That's all you need to stay up to date. So distractions, again, back to distractions, is one of the best ways that we can make the best use of this time. It's a perfect time to pick up a new hobby, you know, learn something new, get better at something you do, spend time with your family, of course. And one of the things that I'm doing is putting together a kit for a good friend of mine, a YouTube channel, Rewild University, Kenton Whitman. Fantastic guy, fantastic channel. If you have not checked it out, please do. And, you know, one of the things that I do, obviously, is I flint nap. And he had expressed that he'd had a challenging time learning the process, even through some of the online videos and so forth. So I thought, you know what, maybe I'll take this time, this opportunity, and create a series of very, very basic, beginner flint napping videos. And when I say basic, I don't mean like I'm not going to cover some of the more you know, intricate or advanced aspects of flint napping. I mean that I am going to make this series for somebody who's never picked up a rock, never heard of flint napping, because it's easy as you try to teach something, it's easy to forget that, you know, all the experiences that you've had and the learning curve that you've had. So sometimes it's easy in some of these tutorials to gloss over some of the very, very basics and some of the things that really, really help. And I'm not the best flint napper out there by any means. There are many, many, many out there that are far more skilled than me, and that's okay, and that's not saying something negative against myself, that's just the truth. But I have found that in a lot of situations, I've taught a lot of things. That's one of the things that seems to be a gift that was given to me, is to be able to teach people things. And I've found that oftentimes when somebody learns from somebody who's not an expert, somebody who is, you know, a beginner, intermediate, whatever it is, there are always these just nuggets of knowledge that come out of that, because, you know, it's easy to forget some of the very, very basics and fundamentals when you get really good at something. So I would encourage us all in this time, if you have a gift, if you have some sort of knowledge that you can pass on to somebody else, let's just do it. That's the best way to connect. So anyway, this video is going to be the kit that I'm making for you, Kenton. And I'm going to show you some of it, but for those of you who have gotten boxes from me before, you know there are always surprises. I don't like to give it all away, but I do want to show you some of the things that I'm putting in the box. So first is going to be this leather pad, and I don't recall if this is I think this is cow. I don't think this is buffalo. I think it's cow. And this is important because it's going to protect your leg. It's going to, you know, allow you to shake the flakes and stuff away. I'm also going to send you 2 boppers, okay? And I don't recall the exact size of these. I want to say that this is a 1/2 inch, and I want to say that this is a 3/4 inch, but I just don't know for sure. So what I can tell you is that there is a size above this and there's a size below this. What I'll tell you is that I do 90% of my work with this one right here, this little guy, okay? This bigger one would be good for larger stones. If you're just trying to kind of break it down a little bit, I'm not going to send you anything that's probably going to require that. It might, but we'll just have to wait and see. And the size that's above this is for, you know, really big stones, you know, stuff that you can't even fit in your hands. So, oh, I notice a crack in here. Huh. Well, this doesn't last up, let me know. I'll send you another one. This one's a little bit pointy on the bottom because this was intended to be a pressure flaker. And I didn't have any more pieces of wood that fit this size cap, so I had to put it on this pressure flaker. I mean, yeah, on this handle that was supposed to be a pressure flaker. So you can sand that down, you can do whatever you want with it. This you'll probably will want to sand down because I did not get a chance to sand this down. Maybe I will before I send it to you, we'll see. Shouldn't make a big difference because it's long enough, but if it starts making contact with your hand, you might run into some issues. Here is a piece of sandstone. This is going to be your grinder. Okay, it is kind of fine. It's not going to be nearly as coarse as the grinder wheel that you had mentioned that you had. If you have that grinding wheel, I would say, you know, maybe keep it on hand for what you know, when you need to use it. But I do all of my grinding with this right here, and if it starts to get a little bit bound up, soak it in a little bit of water. You know, let the dust come out of it. It doesn't feel like it has much of a grind to it, but it really provides everything that you need. Okay. Second of all, or third of all, whatever this is, I'm going to pass down my hand pad to you. Okay. I have made the executive decision to buy myself a new hand pad, and I'm going to pass this one down to you. And this is important because as you pressure flake, and I'm not going to get too much into the support and all that stuff. We'll do that in another video. But it allows the flakes to run into that groove, which prevents it from putting too much pressure. And you can flake right just on leather. You don't need a grooved pad. It's a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more of a learning curve. But this allows you to be able to push those flakes down into that groove, pop them right out, and you know, see pretty immediate success. This, I don't know if this is something you're going to need or not, Kenton, but I'm going to send you some of these, a pair of goggles that I have on hand. I had these because I was making a few Flintknapping kits. They're not the most comfortable. If you have safety glasses or anything else that you can use, I guess that's probably better than this. But eye protection is really, really important. There's a lot of people out there that don't use it, and that's fine. I'm not the eye protection police, but all I know is that I have two eyes, and I'd like to keep them both. So I do wear eye protection when I flint knap, and I would recommend that you do the same. If you have better eye protection than this, feel free to pass this on to the kids. Get them involved also. My daughter has flint napped as well. Okay, this is just a cheap little dollar store tarp. All right, nothing big, just cost me $1. And the reason that this is important is for a couple of different reasons. One, obviously, you know, it's good to control your debitage so that you're not tracking it around the house, you're not stepping on it, it's not, you know, ending up in your yard, well, depending upon, you know, how important that is to you. But you know, if you have animals, if you have chickens and stuff like I do, then you want to make sure that you sort of keep that debitage isolated and in a good spot. So what I do is I use 5-gallon buckets. When I'm done with my napping, I'll sweep it all up in that tarp, I'll dump it into the 5-gallon bucket, and then when I'm done, I pop the bucket under my porch. I think I'm going to get a rock tumbler to process some of that leftover debitage. I don't know. I'm starting to accumulate a lot of it, but also, archaeologically speaking, it's good that you don't leave any signs of you know, modern flint napping, and in a lot of places it's more important than other places. But the thought process behind it is that if anybody came behind you and was doing any type of archaeological research or excavation or whatever, that they wouldn't come across your debitage and mistake it for, you know, old, you know, Native American or Paleolithic flakes. Now the chances of that happening are pretty slim, because anybody who really knows what they're looking at is going to know, first of all, you know, if that's the particular flake pattern that correlates with the technique that was used in a certain time period. But also, you know, I'm in Maine, so if someone finds a bunch of obsidian on the ground, I'm going to guess that they're going to know that that is not, you know, something that was indigenous or something that was, you know, imported to this area. But you never know. So the best thing to do is just to contain your scraps and you know, put them in the garden or do whatever you're going to do with them. So I think that's all I have. There'll be a few extra goodies in there, Kenton, and I'm going to send you with a little bit of stone as well. I'm waiting for that to arrive. I did have to order some stone, but some nice clean obsidian spalls. And I would say, you know, I really want you to enjoy this adventure, and I really, really, truly appreciate how you helped me when I needed help achieving my first hand drill friction fire. And I'm offering the same, you know, level of commitment to you. I want you to achieve this skill set. So if you have any questions at all, I'll put out some videos step by step that will walk you through different parts. But if you have any specific questions, and if anybody else does either, this series that I'm going to put out is going to be for everybody. This is going to be something that's going to help you know, help you occupy your time. Maybe it's a new hobby that you have, and you know, so let me know. So if you have any specific questions, let me know, and I'll make a video specifically targeting that particular question. If I do send you something in the mail, I would suggest letting it sit on your porch for 4 or 5 days, and that's what they're saying as far as any type of contamination is concerned. Everything in my house is completely contamination free. I haven't been out of the house in, I don't know, probably a week or so, and I don't plan on leaving the house again until the end of May, or maybe the middle of May. I might have to leave a little bit, maybe towards the middle of the month, just to do laundry and stuff like that. But so anyway, I hope everybody is happy, everybody is safe, everybody is enjoying this time. Take a deep breath. Don't let the anxiety get to you. In a couple of months, hopefully we'll be talking about how we stood together and made it through this. So from my home to yours, much love. Be a good person, be a good human being, and love your neighbor. I'll see you next time.